Yo, what's good, people? It's your boy Persona of Gaming with Persona, your host of Mind of a Gamer podcast, host of When Persona Speaks, fellow TOA member, and yo, man, it's been quite a while, man. It's been a little bit since I've done WPS When Persona Speaks, and last week we took a break from the podcast. Last week was Cece's birthday. Shout out to her, or Mrs. Official, I should say. And so I know Kev, I know he wanted to definitely, he spent that day with his wife and stuff like that. So I said, I don't want to do the podcast that Saturday because, it's her birthday, and I know he wanted to take some time to be with her. But yeah, man, it's definitely been quite a minute, and it's definitely something we're gonna talk about today in regards to that, and we're gonna definitely get back into how things flow and whatnot. But before I begin, shout out to all the newcomers and to the regulars. Definitely appreciate you guys for coming back. And like I always say, I'm just a gamer trying to share my experiences with the world. And a big shout out to Garuda Legends. He's definitely here. He definitely supports not just myself, but he supports Bari, Chuck. He supports a lot of the council members, and it's definitely appreciated. We got Bari in the building, and that, shout out to Bari, man. Another one. He definitely supports your boy, man, and it's definitely appreciated. But yeah, let me go through the games I've been playing throughout the week. Destiny hardcore. I think I got what I think, no bullshit, and this is just an estimate, but I think I got like 200 hours, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. A little bit, about 200 hours in Destiny. I've been playing Destiny like no bullshit, really hardcore. That's really the only game that's really touched my system. What else? Hidden Dragon Legends that came out last week. That's a nice little side scroller platform game. It plays like it's like a platformer mixed with Dark Souls, because a lot of the enemies are very tough. In the beginning, the game seems easy, and it seems like it's going to be a cakewalk and a breeze. And then when you get like later into like chapter 3, chapter 2, and then you get to like chapter 3 and 4, the struggle gets all too real for that game, and it is insane how that game is. But I really like it. It's a really, really fun game. Enjoyable. It's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. You're gonna rage a few times, and Bari a fool. Although like the jumping, like my whole thing with the game with Hidden Dragon is like the jumping is very stiff, and some of the combat is a little bit stiff, not too easy, but it's definitely a little bit stiff. But all in all, it is a good game. The voice acting is that voice acting is not good at all. Like I have to be honest with you, it's definitely not good. But despite the voice acting and the jumping and some of the combat being a little bit stiff, it is still overall a fun experience that I do enjoy, and I do have fun with that game. So I did play that also, and Shenron Kagura Peach Bleach Splash that came out yesterday, and I definitely played that a little bit and was able to sit down and dabble in that, and I enjoyed that too. I'm a big fan of the Shenron Kagura series. I played the one on the Vita. I played the one that came on PS4. Was that last year? Yeah, I think it came out on PS4 last year. Yeah, so that one, and this one, I was definitely going to snatch this one up because it's not like a main series Shenron Kagura game. It is like one of those little side games that they normally do with that has it's like water gun fights that they're having. So it's like this water gun competition that they're in, and I'm still like fairly early into the game and into the story, but from what I played with that, man, that is definitely a very, very funny game. It's funny, like the dialogue, like it's a game that you're not supposed to take serious. It's fan service heavy. It's definitely not something that is how do you say it's not a bad game. It's a very fun game. But if you're looking for something that's like AAA quality and, it's a serious story, and Shenron Kagura is not that at all, really. And this game is no different. The story, the dialogue is raunchy at times. Sometimes the dialogue can be R-rated. The girls, they be calling themselves bitches, and you know, they talk very vulgar in the game. And like I said, it's very fan service heavy. I mean, it's a bunch of girls, you know, big breasted girls having a water gun fight in a water gun competition. It's it's crazy, but it's a fun game. Nonetheless, it's definitely a fun game. I'll probably stream that this weekend or something like that. I'm hesitant about streaming games like that just because of how they are, and I ain't trying to be hearing, oh, you know, why you playing this? And I don't want to hear all that. But I don't know. I'll stream a little bit of it. I might. I'll let you guys know though. But yeah, those are the games I've been playing. Oh yeah, I definitely did play Ys 8. I played a little bit of Ys 8, just a little bit. I've got Anon and I've got what's her name? Is it Eliza? I think her name is. I forgot old girl name. I know I'm probably messing up her name, and I know Barbie probably gonna Barry gonna probably get mad at me because I know Barry been playing Ys 8 heavy right now. My fault, Barry. I forgot her name. I'm sorry. Um, but it was definitely it's definitely Ys 8 is definitely fun for sure. It definitely is a fun game, and it's definitely a game that I definitely am enjoying. I'm still early in that too, so I can't really give like a too in-depth, like quick synopsis of how I feel about the game yet. But you know, based off like the 2, 3, you know, 4 hours that I played, the combat is dope. Like the combat's fun. It definitely is fun. Graphically, you know, graphics ain't really. It's not like 10 out of 10 with the graphics. It's, you know, the graphics is decent. It's still a great game though. You're far, you're fool. It's still a great game nonetheless. It's a very fun game. Very entertaining. I'm definitely going to be streaming that and get hardcore into that now. Now, especially now that I got into platinum for Destiny 2, which we will talk about in a little bit. But yeah, Ys 8, I definitely was playing that. Really fun, really entertaining. So yeah, man, it's been quite a while since I've done When Persona Speaks. It's been a while since I did. Yeah, her name is Loxa. That's her name, Loxia. Okay, that's her name. Good looks, Barry. Yo, shout out to Barry. Barry, you get a steak dinner at PSX. I got you. Yes, I definitely it's definitely been quite a minute as far as When Persona Speaks. And the podcast, obviously, like I said, we didn't have it last week. We did have it the week before, but the week before that, we didn't have it, and it's kind of been a little sporadic. So pretty much, where do I begin? Pretty much right now, like, well, I will say this. I don't want to get too deep into like, you know, personal life and stuff like that, but I was going through some stuff, you know, some personal stuff, whatever the case may be. And, you know, the stuff that I was going through definitely did have did kind of affect, you know, my creative chakras or creative juices, get the creativity flowing. That definitely was part of it. And then the second part is, you know, when you do go through hardships in life, like I'm pretty sure most of us have gone through, that does have an effect on how you view things, that I won't say aren't important, but aren't at the top of the list of importance. And you know, sometimes when you come home from work, only thing you're thinking about is playing a game, you know, playing games, because at the end of the day, we all are gamers. So that is part of the reason, and the other part is you know, I kind of, you know, I have a lot of things that I want to do with the channel, as far as growing the channel and making the channel much more professional, much more presentable. That has always been something that I've talked to even Bari about this when it comes to TOA and when it comes to what we do with that. And you know, there's a lot of things that I want to do for the channel, and there's a lot of things that I want to do outside of the channel to kind of make it much more of a gaming media centric channel. You know, a lot of, and this is not, you know, I don't want to, you know, throw a shot at anybody else's channel, because, you know, that's not how I am, and that's not the type of person that I am. But you know, especially lately, there's been like a lot of like Xbox news out, and like, you know, there's been more Xbox news than it has been PlayStation in regards to, like, you know, the Xbox One X, and, you know, this developer said that this game's gonna look better than this game, and da, 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 you know. And I've said this before, you know, I'm the type of person where, you know, I hate talking about the same thing multiple times. I hate having, you know, I would hate to get on YouTube you know, on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis, and constantly talk to you about Xbox. I'll constantly talk to you about the same things with PlayStation. Like, we all know that PlayStation has exclusives. We all know that Xbox doesn't. We all know that Xbox is going to be the most powerful console to come out when it comes out. We all know that PlayStation won't. You know, we all know that the Switch is, you know, getting third party. We all know that, you know, to constantly get on YouTube and constantly talk to you guys about that. That's not the type of person that I am. That's not the type of person that I am on social media either. You know, as fun as it is to debate, and I love debating just as much as the next person, you know, but I like debating new things. I like debating, you know, it doesn't always have to be about the power and things like that. It could be about the games and stuff like that. I'll debate that type of stuff, but to constantly talk about the same things every single day or every single week, I'm not that type of person. And, you know, lately when it comes to news, the news has been kind of repetitive when it comes to what we know and what we expect and things like that. You know, it's some new things here and there, but it's mostly repetitive, and you know, I really try not to deal with repetition. So that also kind of pushes me away from wanting to, you know, because sometimes you could kind of slide into talking about that stuff, and you know, we all crack jokes and we all make jokes, and I don't, you know, to my audience and to my subscribers and stuff like that, I don't think that's fair to the people that do watch me or the people that do support me, because, you know, you can get that anywhere. You know, you can get Xbox talk views and stuff like that anyway. Yeah, my views may be different when it comes to certain things, but most of the time, the things that most people say, most of the time are the same. They may say it in a different way, but it's still pretty much the same thing that they're saying. I'm not that type of person. So looking at it from that point of view, I'm trying, you know, I sit back and I like to observe how other people carry themselves, but observe how news is moving, how the gaming industry is moving. You know, I observe different things, and I try. And my goal and what I want to do with the channel is I want to push the channel in a direction where it's different than what the norm is when it comes to most gaming channels. Part of that is, you know, we do have the online arcade. We do have the online arcade tournaments that we host on not just my channel, but on Chuck's and on Bari's and on Mr. Official. And I obviously, and I stream my games when I, you know, I always stream and things like that. But when it comes to molding the channel in a more professional and gaming media centric environment and making it more of what I want it to be and the vision that I have for it, that's something that doesn't happen overnight, and that's something that takes a lot of creative thinking and a lot of creative you know, chakras. I'm gonna stick with chakras because chakras just works. So I had set like a goal for myself and what I wanted to do. So pretty much the rest of this year, obviously, I'm still going to be doing When Persona Speaks. I'm still going to be doing Mind of a Gamer. Mind of a Gamer and When Persona Speaks isn't going anywhere. There, if anything, there'll be additions to the channel, but also some restructuring of how I want certain things to be and how I want certain things to go on the channel. Because again, you know, the goal that I have is I want to be different from everybody else. You know, I don't want to be, you know, stuck in that, you know, Xbox versus PlayStation mindset, because, you know, as much as, you know, we all fanboy and, you know, I love PlayStation, and, you know, I'll definitely defend PlayStation if, you know, if somebody try to say some bullshit. Do not get me wrong on that. The vision that I want and the vision that I want and the content and the things that I want to provide and create for you guys is different from what we're used to seeing right now. So, you know, I'm still going to stream. I'm still going to do When Persona Speaks. I'm still going to do Mind of a Gamer. This winter at PlayStation Experience, I am going to be doing some vlogs. You know, I'm definitely going to be doing some vlogs. I'm definitely going to be doing, you know, it's going to be a lot of video uploading happening, especially around the December time during PSX. of me trying to. I'm pretty sure I can, because last year the developers, like, one thing about PlayStation Experience that I like is the developers and like the Sony executives, they're very accessible at PlayStation Experience. And one thing that I want to do is I wanna kind of like start getting in the practice of being a more, I don't want to say like a host type persona, but like a more journalistic, I'll say, more journalistic of the way that I approach different things when it comes to gaming. So like at PlayStation Experience this year, like I said, you can expect blogs, not blogs, vlogs, vlogs. Definitely some developer interviews. And if I see Sean Layden on the floor, man, I'm like, I'm pulling to the side real quick. Try like, yo, Sean, real quick, let me get a couple words from you. I'm trying to, those are the type of things that I kind of want to do, and what I kind of want to get in the practice of doing, and trying to move the channel into a more media centric environment. So after, pretty much after PSX next year, what you can expect from the channel and from me is obviously I'm still going to be streaming. Mind of a Gamer is still going to be happening. There's still like I want to restructure and rebrand Mind of a Gamer, get like an official logo, get maybe add somebody. Like I always say, like having like one or two females on a show always adds a pretty good dynamic when it comes to what it is. That's, especially in gaming, that's always something dope. And that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And I think that would be like a good addition to Mind of a Gamer. So I was definitely thinking about adding like one or two females to the show and making them regulars, and kind of just create a really good dynamic between all of us, and where we can, talk about all things gaming, like we always do now with me, Demi, and Kev. So Mind of a Game is still going to go. When Persona Speaks is still going to go. And I'll use When Persona Speaks, which is like a weekly thing. I'll use that platform as a platform to kind of talk about, go in depth about, if something crazy happened with Xbox, like, Phil Spencer, he lit an Xbox on fire and threw it down a stairwell, some shit, so, some funny shit like that. I would use When Persona Speaks to kind of talk about that. And if it's big enough, I would use Mind of a Gamer to get, just to gauge the interest and gauge the thoughts of what the MOG panel would think about that. But outside of that, TOA is still something that's going to be happening. It's going to move to a more official YouTube channel or YouTube page. But I definitely, as far as TOA, like trailers and highlights and stuff like that, that is definitely something that would be, would take place, on my channel, and on, Bari's and everybody's channel, and also on the official TOA channel. Definitely get into like interviewing people, like interviewing like everyday gamers, interviewing developers, and those types of things. That's those are definitely things that I want to do for the channel, and create. I actually already have an official channel like logo for myself or whatever. Shout out to his name is Carrie. And he was the artist that drew me and all that. You'll see it. I'm not going to unveil it yet, because I'm still, it's even though it's done, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to present it, and how I want people to view it, and get that type of stuff done. Trying to be, and definitely I'm getting a like a nice professional camera, and I already have a good mic. I've got a Yeti, and whenever I re-listen to the podcast that I do, I always sound, I always sound good, clear, and all that stuff. But I've been looking into even more like professional like headsets and stuff like that. And I'm building my PC so I can get into like video editing and get into Photoshop and all those like real professional type things. Like I've been studying this shit for like some months now, just to see if it's something that I really want to do. And that's kind of why I've been in like observation mode, because you can say one thing, and like when you're excited about doing something, your mind is telling you you're excited, So you believe that, oh, yo, I'm excited, this is what I want to do. And then it's like when you really get into like the back end and the nitty gritty of what it takes to do something at 100% potential, you realize that it's something that you don't want to do, or it's something that's it's yeah, I wasn't expecting all of this. I only wanted to do the fun aspect of it. And it's like, that's kind of why I wanted to kind of observe and kind of do like trial runs with different things. Like Mind of a Gamer, no bullshit. Mind of a Gamer was a trial run, really. Because me hosting a podcast, when with the council podcast, it was always Bari that hosted the podcast. Most things that took place was on Bari's channel. So when I started moving things over to my channel and doing things on my channel, a lot of things that I did were trial runs, just to gauge the interest from the public, to gauge the interest from people that support me, from outside people, to like see if I'm getting new subs and stuff like that. When I first started doing shit like this, I was at like 110 subs, and now I'm almost at 400 subscribers. So 400 people like what I do, 400 people like what I'm talking about or how I'm doing things. So gauging the interest, engaging how things flow and how things are going. I'm like, and then again, like I said, looking at like how you do video editing and the type of softwares you can use and the time and the effort and things like that it takes to go into things like that. I made the decision that is something that I want to do, and that is something that I want to kind of take serious and go down a more serious route. Yo, John Niner, what's good, man? Thank you so much for coming through. Yo, John, you've been MIA for a minute, bro. Yo, shout out to John Niner, man. He's big supporter of the channel, man. Really, really cool dude. Yeah, man, I'm almost at 400 subs, man. We slowly growing, slowly growing. But so looking at like how other people doing and looking at what people are doing and how people are making like nice professional videos and the tutorials and the studying and the shit like that I've been doing, I'm looking at it like, all right, so this is something that I want to do, and this is something that I want to take serious. So in 2018, you will definitely see a big difference in how my videos look, how the videos are made, the presentation, the gameplay, the thumbnails, like everything is going to look better. The way the channel looks, the way the channel is organized, the structure, a lot of different things are definitely going to change, and obviously for the better. The second thing would be, as far as streaming on YouTube, it's fun and it's good and it has gained me a lot of subscribers. But I think that like streaming on Twitch would be Twitch has like a bigger platform and a bigger like user base to where I could grow the streaming aspect of what I want to do in a more serious manner and take that a bit more serious. That's something that I kind of been thinking about for a while too, because I'm like, I love like the ease of streaming to YouTube, and yeah, you can stream to Twitch too from PlayStation, and even through Elgato and all that stuff. That stuff is easy. Like it's easy to do either or. One thing that kind of turned me off from streaming on Twitch through PlayStation, I'll say at least through PlayStation, was the fact that you couldn't do 1080p 60, but now you can do 1080p 60 plus. With the Elgato, one thing that kind of turned me off with the Elgato is, I got a 4K, I got a 4K TV, but Elgato doesn't make 4K captures, but they do for PC. So I'm like, I definitely need that PC so I can do that 4K pass through, so that I don't suffer looking at some 1080p shit or some, whatever. So that is that's something that I definitely wanted to do too, and that's something that is going to happen in 2018. Is I'm definitely going to be moving streams, at least like game streams and stuff like that, to Twitch, and start building that Twitch audience and trying to be a little bit, be more engaging and be more, streamer friendly, quote unquote, whatever. Trying to get more streamer professional with it, much more engaging. One thing I've noticed watching a lot of, and I watch a lot of streamers. I support a lot of I support a lot of people that stream. Um, a lot of the bigger streamers that I do watch or that I do, look at, one thing I always admire is that like their shit be set up real proper. Like I love how like organized and how streamlined and how engaging just the outline or the layout and the fucking, like everything is just it's there and it's organized. And I'm like, damn, every time I see stuff like that, I'm like, damn, that's how I want my streams to look. I want my streams to look professional like that, but with that persona touch. You feel me? And that's something, and I think that's something that really does attract a lot of new people when your stuff looks engaging. So that's definitely something that is going to happen in 2018. It's also going to be happening with the TOA, but I'll save the TOA talk for when we all, because there is a lot of good TOA announcements happening and coming up. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, as far as the streaming goes, I do want to move to Twitch. That's definitely what I want to do. I want to move to Twitch. I'm gonna move to Twitch. I'll probably still stream YouTube things here and there, but I'm gonna save YouTube or my channel at least for media. My thoughts and opinions and interviews and those the vlogs or whatever I want to do that's outside of streaming. That's what YouTube is for. When I want to stream games and do stream series and things like that, I think Twitch is more geared towards that and building that audience and building and making that more engaging. So yeah, that's a lot. I said a lot of shit. That's the channel pretty much update. I do thank everybody that stuck with me this far and supports me and supports what I do. Mind you, I'm trying to do all this while working a full-time job, and trying to have a life and trying to live and trying to build and all those real life obstacles and real life things that kind of tend to come at you whenever you're trying to just stay on that straight path. Those are things that I'm pretty sure most of us deal with on a daily basis, and myself included. So those are things that's also being that at me as a human being, I should say, am also dealing with outside of trying to build up this brand, or my brand, I should say, of what I want to do. I was gonna have a PSX. It's crazy too. It's probably not gonna be this PSX, but there may be an announcement for it next year. I wanted to. I was working on a shirt, and I have the idea for the shirt that I want to do, and obviously it's a shirt of me. Yeah, it's all good, Barry, no doubt. It's obviously a shirt. It's like a real nice shirt, persona shirt, and it's like super prototype. But it's like it's extremely early stages. I'm still working on making it real nice, real presentable and all that good stuff. But it's still super early stages. But 2018, you'll definitely see that as well. I think you guys will like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah. But I'm still gonna stream. Still got When Persona Speaks. Mind of a Gamer will be this Saturday at 11 a.m. EST. You got to start your mornings off right. And yeah, that's my channel update. And that's pretty much thoughts on that for the moment, at least. There'll definitely be much more thoughts and announcements and things like that coming obviously later this year. One thing I want to do at PSX too is I want to it's gonna at PSX this year. It's not just gonna be the council. It's gonna be a lot of friends and people out that are friends to the council that are outside the council. So they're gonna be there too. No bullshit. We're gonna be if I had to count, man, I would say we're gonna be 30 deep at PSX this year. It's gonna be 30 of us at PlayStation Experience this year. 30 of us, and you know, it's going to be crazy. And one thing that I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to have like a big open discussion or open vlog discussion, just talking about our experiences with PSX and our experiences with the conference and our experiences with the show floor and the games that we played. And that's something that I wanted to do like on our last day together. I wanted to do that. I'm pretty sure everybody probably won't be for it because I know everybody might not want to be on camera, or everybody might not want to, you know, indulge in that, which is perfectly fine. But I'm pretty sure like most of the council and a couple people outside the council will be down for doing that. So that's something that is definitely going to happen. Get a couple of like one-on-one interviews with some of the people that went, and try to talk to some random gamers, and you're like, yo man, so what you think about PSX? What you think about PlayStation? Yo, I got y'all, man. The vlogs this year are gonna be really fun. They're gonna be real nice and crisp because I'm getting a brand new nice 4K camera, like one of those professional photography cameras. So it's gonna be real nice, real crisp. The audio is gonna be good. I'm gonna make sure everything is 10 out of 10 for you guys. I got you. So yeah, man, definitely stay tuned for that. Any newcomers that do come and listen to this, subscribe, because I got a lot of good things that is gonna be coming up on the channel. A lot of good announcements and things like that. And yeah, man, that's my channel update. Now I want to talk to you guys about Destiny real quick. I'm not going to be too long. I got the platinum for Destiny yesterday. The grind for that was it's funny. I actually was sad that the platinum was easy because because I got the Destiny 1 platinum as well, and getting the Destiny 1 platinum and getting the Destiny 2 platinum is like night and day. You feel me? Because the Destiny 1 platinum, you had to max out all 3 characters and all of their subclasses for all 3 characters. Let me tell you something. Maxing out the subclasses for all 3 characters on Destiny 1, yo, you want to talk about a grind? Yo, Destiny 1's grind for all 3 subclasses and the characters was not easy. That was a grind in itself. That right there was extremely hard. You wasn't just farming public events so that you could get the subclasses and then you do the mission and you have the subclass and that's it. Nah, that's not happening here. You had to physically level up each subclass. You had to physically level it up. That shit was hard. And if that wasn't hard enough, you had to do a flawless raid on Destiny 1. And flawless raid means not die. And on Destiny 1, that shit was hard. That shit was very hard. It was very hard. A lot of people did it on Crota, which can still be a bit of a challenge, but it wasn't as hard. It wasn't as hard. When I got that, man, I was extremely excited. Getting the Destiny 1 platinum, definitely, when you seen that platinum pop for Destiny 1, it definitely was a good thing to see compared to Destiny 2. With Destiny 2, I'm happy I got the platinum. The platinum was fun to get, but I think my whole thing was that it was just too easy, and I was kind of hoping for more of a challenge when it came to getting the platinum for Destiny 2. It was like it was like a 2 out of 10 as far as like getting the platinum, maybe 3 out of 10, because you still have to level. You still have to go through the story 3 times. Well, no, actually, you don't have to go through the story 3 times. You could just level up and get to level like 7 or 8, get to the Titan map, the Titan world, and just farm public events there. So you didn't even have to finish the entire story, but I did anyway, because I knew that I was going to be using at least 2 out of 3 of the characters. Have 2 different characters that I would run raids and do nightfalls and all that stuff with. So that part was like whatever, but the platinum for Destiny 2, definitely it was fun, but it just wasn't as satisfying as when you got the Destiny 1 platinum, just due to how easy it was. When it came to the story for Destiny 2, though, I had to give it to Bungie. They definitely changed up a lot of things when it came to the story for Destiny 2. The story for Destiny 2 definitely was much more engaging. It definitely had a lot of cutscenes that explained everything really well. The voice actors obviously were always on point. You know, Ikora, Zavala, Cade, the Ghost, Gaul was amazing. The speaker was great. The story for Destiny 2 definitely is a huge turnaround from Destiny 1's overall story. Um, I still can't get over Gaul. Like Gaul was like that voice actor for Gaul was just amazing. Like the dialogue and whoever wrote Gaul's dialogue and his lines, they made you feel like when it came to like listening to Gaul and when he was speaking and whenever he was talking about why he was stealing the Traveler and trying to take the light, um, it made you feel like almost like damn, like I kind of want him to have the light. No bullshit, because it was like with Gaul, you know, his whole purpose of having the light was because he felt that he was the one that should have had the light. And then he started going into why he should have the light and talked about how he had to make sacrifices and um he had to like fight, like he had to pretty much fight his whole life or whatever, and the Cabal didn't accept him, and he had to rise through the ranks and gain honor and respect from the Cabal, and you know they wanted to kill him and all this crazy shit. And I'm like, damn man, this guy, this dude went through mad stuff, you know, just to prove himself to his own people. I'm like, damn man, yo, get that man the light. Yo, let my man's had a light, man. Let him go ahead and you know, so they definitely did a good job of creating a very engaging story in Destiny 2. Is it like story of the year? No, it's not. If I had to rank it, like as far as the story itself, no bullshit, I give the story like an 8 out of 10. The story was really great. And then like one thing I did like as well with the story for Destiny 2 is the way they made you, the Guardian, feel like you felt like your guard, like you know how like in games, like in certain games, when it comes to trying to pull you in and trying to make you feel like the character. Some games don't do that well. One Destiny 2, I think, did that really well when it came to trying to kind of like making you feel like you are the Guardian. Like you are the Guardian. You know, you lost your light. You have to work your way up, rise through the ranks, and gain your light back and gain back the tower. And yo, that whole section where you lose the tower and you lose the city and everybody flees the planet and goes to all these other fucking planets. Like it was very, I won't say it was most like I wasn't crying or nothing like that, but you know, it hits you a little like, damn man, you know, especially when you play Destiny 1 so heavy and so hardcore and you see how the tower just gets destroyed like that, and you see how the city's all fucked up and everybody's spread out and nobody has their light. And then when you see like a defeated Ikora, it's like, damn, this is crazy. And what I mean by that is when you get to Io, which is like the fourth planet or whatever, that's when you meet up with Ikora again. And when you meet up with Ikora, you know, y'all talking, and she's surprised that you have your light back and all this other stuff. And so she said something that was like mad powerful, and I was like, damn, that's deep. She said, I've gotten so used to dying and coming back so many times that I'm afraid to lose the one life that I have. And I'm just like, damn, yo, like, so she pretty much is speaking on how she's taken something for granted to the point where she's unable to adapt to a new environment or a new situation that is happening, to where, like, you know, her, it's pretty much she's trying to say her having the light took away her survival instincts and her being able to survive. And that was a powerful like dialogue back and forth that her and the ghosts were having. And I really like that. That was, you know, them adding, and there's a lot of different parts like that within the story, where they have like those type of really powerful one-liners that kind of capture you and make you be like, damn, you're like, this is really crazy. Like, wow. So they, you know, I really did enjoy that, and the story was really great, really amazing. It wasn't too short. It was about if you skip the cutscenes, you could beat the story in I want to say like 6 hours, maybe 6.5, 6.5. I'll say 7. About 7 hours. Yeah, you can beat the story about 7 hours. Yeah, 7 hours. 7 hours. And one of the best parts about the story, in my opinion, like you using vehicles in the story in this one, and like you got like these tanks that you like shooting, like you having tank fights with like the enemies, and they added so much in this story that like really made it like really fun and entertaining, and it kind of surprised me because I'm like, damn, yo, we using tanks and we fighting enemies with big ass tanks, and we doing all this crazy stuff and having to take down ships and field generators and all this other shit. I'm like, yo, this is fun. It was really fun. I really enjoyed that. What else? I'm trying to think of like something else with the story that I can tell you. Go into the story with an open mind if you do decide to pick it up, or if you are playing it or want to play it. The story is, it's all over the place because you are fighting a lot of the same enemies, like the Cabal, the Taken, the Fallen, the Vex, the Hive. Like it's all the same enemies. The Cabal, even though they call them the Red Legion, they're still just the Cabal, just a more beefed up version of the Cabal, an even more militarized version of the Cabal, which isn't really a bad thing. But I know a lot of people were complaining that they kind of hoped that there would be new enemy types in the game, and I kind of hope there was too. There would have been new enemy types. But even though there aren't new enemy types, it doesn't take away from how great the story is and how great the combat and the fun factor of the game. It doesn't take away from that, at least for me. Somebody else may look at fighting the same enemies and find that boring or whatever the case may be, but I definitely I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. Now Endgame. When it comes to Endgame, that's actually something else that kind of disappointed me this game compared to Destiny 1. One of the biggest complaints with Destiny 1 was that the grind was too heavy. The grind was too much. The grind was too it was too unrewarding. And in certain aspects, I can agree. But I do feel like in this game, they kind of made the grind too easy or a little too forthcoming. And what I mean by that is, I went from, when I beat the story, I was like 240 light. And in like a week and a half, I went from 240 to like 280, and then in another week, I went from 280 to 304, so I pretty much peaked at light level in a 2-week span. As opposed to Destiny 1, it would have taken me like a month and a half to reach. I don't think 305 isn't max light level, but I think that's kind of the peak that everybody's at for right now. In Destiny 1, that would have taken like a month and a half, and it kind of hurts the that whole grind, like the grind, the things that you like to grind for, the things that made Destiny so great when it came to grinding. Something that I'm not, shy away from. I play a lot of MMOs in my time, and I'm not I play a lot of RPGs, so I'm not, shied away from grinding and having to grind for gear and having to grind for different things. That's kind of like second nature to me. But I do feel like they did make the grind too easy in this game a little bit, because even when I made my second character, and granted, my first character was super strong, but when I made my second character, the grind for that was next to nothing. Because I moved my weapons over, and by the time I got to level 20, you get to level 20 and like no bullshit, you could get to level 20 in like 3.5 hours. And it's like once you get to level 20, you can put on your powerful weapons from your first character, and then everything that'll drop will be the respected light level based off whatever your light level is. So say you put on, like for instance, when I was leveling up my Warlock, the light level. My light level on my Titan when I started leveling up my Warlock was 301. And my weapons were like 302, 300, 301. So when I got my Warlock to level 20 and I put my my powerful weapons on, it shot me up from like 230 to like 275. That's just off the weapons. So everything that was dropping for me was like 275, 280, different things, you know. And I went from 275 to like 304 in 2 days, you know, just because the drops were so generous and so good. And then like the weeklies now are, whenever you do like the weekly events and stuff like that, you get what's called Illuminous engrams, which drop at a higher light than you are, just to help you boost your light up. So there was a lot of different things and a lot of outlets and things that you can do to build up your light level in the game. And it kind of made the grind a little too easy. And even though that's not necessarily a deal breaker for me when it comes to Destiny, it kind of sucks that it was like that easy. You know, it kind of sucked that it didn't really take too much effort to catch, you know, highlights super quick. Does that take away from the game though? Not necessarily, but it's like when you get too strong too fast, you tend to start looking at the game like, okay, you know, what do I do now? Where's the DLC? Where's this? Where's that? Well, there is different things. And one of those things is the raid, which came out last week, Wednesday. And the raid was, yo, TTFP, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. With the raid was, I beat the raid like 6 times now, 5 or 6 times. And the raid it's very mechanic heavy. The raid is very mechanic heavy. It's pretty much it requires you to communicate, and communicating with the raid. I've came across some teams that, you know, we just fell apart because nobody was talking, nobody was communicating, nobody was doing anything. But when you get like that good group of guys that know how to communicate, and, you know, we know the mechanics, we're able to work together fluently, the raid is very fun. It's very entertaining. It's very different from what you normally see in Destiny 2. I mean, not in in Destiny period, not just Destiny 2, but it's very different from what you see. When it comes to the final boss fight is it's actually not that hard. I think the make or break part when it comes to running with a team in the raid is either going to be the gauntlet or the dogs. I still think it's going to be gauntlet or dogs, because especially dogs requires a lot of it requires a lot of communication, but it also requires you to kind of be stealthy, but you also got to know the routes of the dogs and how the dogs walk, because if you knowing the routes and knowing how the dogs walk will be the deciding factor of, you know, one or two phasing that room, and, you know, wiping constantly and having to start all over because you can't get enough stacks to damage the dogs. With the gauntlets is very communication heavy, and with the gauntlets, you're very reliant on making sure that your team is able to deliver on their part of ensuring that the runners that are inside this little cylinder room, this little like lap room or whatever, making sure that they are listening and they're able to shoot the right arrows and stuff like that. Because, you know, miscommunication or not hearing what somebody says, you know, that can mess up a runner, and a runner will either die because he doesn't have enough time to get to the next orb, or, you know, they can save it and, you know, try to get the next orb. And then, you know, with the bathhouse is like the third one of the other 3 trials that you have to do with the raid. And bathhouse is pretty simple. You know, you just have to rotate plates and stuff like that on the bathhouse and kill the enemy that comes out. It's not too hard. The raid itself isn't too hard once you really get the mechanics of the raid down pat. It's very fun, very entertaining. It's just all about communication. You got to communicate. If you're not communicating in the raid, you have a problem. You have a real big problem. Then that takes me to Crucible, because, you know, most end game, a lot of people like to do Crucible, and Crucible for me is very fun this go round. Crucible on Destiny 1 was fun as well. I think my biggest issue with Destiny 2 I'll say for right now when it comes to the Crucible, because I'm pretty sure since they're still dealing with the PC version and having to put that version out, I'm pretty sure that they still haven't really sat down and looked at the statistics of the amount of guns that are being used, and the power balances and all that good stuff. But with Crucible, and I'll start with Trials of the Nine, because Trials of the Nine is like the professional. That's like the more competitive, hardcore Crucible, and that's very hardcore. The Trials of the Nine is very, very hardcore, and it requires a team of 4. And the Trials of the Nine only happens on the weekends. So the thing about Trials of the Nine is it's very you don't have room to be yourself in Trials of the Nine. Now you're probably wondering, Persona, what are you talking about? I'll explain. When you play multiplayer games, and when you play, and I'll use Call of Duty for instance, Call of Duty. One thing Call of Duty does well is they do a good job of making sure most, not all, but most guns in the game are balanced enough to a point where you can kind of play with whatever you want. Like you can kind of choose whatever gun you want, and you can kind of, like be able to get kills and, run the map pretty well. And, like you don't have to worry about sticking to one gun. Yo, Lyrical Days, what's good, my brother, man? Thank you for coming through, man. You kind of don't have to stick with one gun. With Destiny and Trials of the Nine, and I'll even use Crucible as well, because people are doing this in the regular Crucible as well. But in Trials of the Nine, most people, if you're not running with a MIDA multi-tool, which is a scout rifle, and the scout rifle that it's probably this, it is the best scout rifle in the game, period. If you're not running with the MIDA multi-tool, which makes you move faster, and it has an insane scope on it, and it allows you to still see the enemies on the map when you're scoped in, because that's one of the perks on the weapon. If you're not running MIDA, and if you're not running Uriel's Gift, if you're not running Origin Story, if you're not running the Last Hope sidearm, if you're not running these different types of weapons, you're really going to get slaughtered in the game. There really isn't any room to be yourself in Trials of the Nine. It's very uniform, very military specific, where you have to have specific gun setups in order to be able to compete, not kill, to be able to even keep up with the enemy team or the persons that you're going against. Because like I said, MIDA and these other types of weapons are very powerful, very, very, very powerful in the game, and they pretty much overpower anything outside of the scope of the guns that I named. Now, is this a bad thing? It depends who you're asking, because if you're going against, if you're a big PvP player, and you're playing Trials of the Nine, and you're used to playing those types of modes and those real heavy competitive modes, you kind of know and understand that you have to go into these types of modes with specific weapons, because you know how other people are going to play. So you kind of accept it. You accept it. Like myself and the team that I run Trials of the Nine with, we know. I mean, I love MIDA anyway. MIDA is my favorite weapon. So I have no problem using MIDA. I have no problem using Uriel's Gift and things like that. And I have no problem using that. But when it comes to like a newcomer or a new group of people that want to come in and play Trials of the Nine or have fun in Trials of the Nine, it's really hard for a new group of people to kind of come in and be themselves in Trials of the Nine, because Trials of the Nine is so uniform. It's so specific. You have to use specific setups if you want to compete. And that sucks. It sucks in a way. It does suck in a way, because, as fun as Trials is, you kind of want to, I have to use a MIDA in order to be able to kill this guy, or to be able to have a chance of killing this guy. Like some people may look at that as a negative. And I wouldn't blame them, even though I personally don't have a problem with that type of setup when it comes to Trials of the Nine. I can see how somebody that's a newcomer, or somebody that's a more casual PvP player may have a problem with that, because it's like, damn, I can't use what's a gun? I'm trying to think of a gun. I can use Vigilance Wing, which is a pulse rifle. Pulse rifles are 3-round burst weapons. It's like, damn, I can't use that in trials. I have to use one of these guns, specific guns. And essentially, no, you don't have to use these specific guns. But like I said, if you want to have a chance of competing, you want to use one of these guns because this is more than likely what the other team is going to be running. And the only counter to those guns is the same gun. Realistically, those are the only kind. Like, the only thing that can beat a Mida is a Mida, really. Like, realistically speaking, if you're moving as fast as your enemy and you're a better shot than him with the Mida, you're going to get the kill. It's pretty much, if you're going up against 2 Mida multi-tool users, it's all dependent on who is the better shot at that point. Which, again, like I said, that sucks. Now, when it comes to regular Crucible, which is a more casual experience, regular Crucible it's fun. It is very fun, and you'll run across some really hardcore teams in regular Crucible too. But, you know, it's starting to, especially as much as I play, you're starting to see that Trials of the Nine mindset kind of seep over into regular Crucible, where most people are using Midas, most people are using Uriel's gifts. Another good auto rifle is the Prosecutor, which is the Trials of the Nine auto rifle. Another one is Origin Story, which is an auto rifle as well, and which is amazing. Last Hope, which is a sidearm. The Drang, which is a sidearm. You're starting to see like the same weapons, and there's so many other weapons in the game, but these are the weapons that people gravitate towards. And when you have that type of environment, and when you have that type of mindset of people in that type of environment, it kind of alienates newcomers. It really does alienate and hurt newcomers from wanting to come in and be themselves. You feel me? And again, like I said, I don't really have a problem with using these weapons because, one, I have all of these weapons that I named, but two, these are weapons that I like anyway. But say I was a newcomer, or say I was a casual and I don't have these weapons and I want to play Crucible. Are you telling me I can't have a fun experience in Crucible if I don't have these weapons? Because the weapons I have are going to get beat out by the weapons that I named. That's not really fair. You know, so I can see that turning off a lot of people. I can really do see Crucible turning off a lot of casuals or a lot of newcomers. It sucks. But Crucible really, I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy Crucible a lot. I do. I have fun. I'm probably going to stream some Crucible after this podcast. But I love and enjoy Crucible for what it is. But when you look at, I'm looking at it from the mindset of like a casual that may want to come in and play, it definitely may not be that much of an enjoyable experience, because I've come across some casual guys where, these guys are like 2-15, and it's just like, damn, bro, like, and it's not like Call of Duty. Like I said, in Call of Duty, you can use various types of weapons and, be good. And in Destiny Crucible, you got like 6 or 7 weapons to choose from. And if you ain't using one of these weapons, man, you're going to get slaughtered. You feel me? But, Crucible is still fun. It's still fun, still enjoyable. Trials is fun, and it's enjoyable. For me, at least. For me. What else? I'm trying to think what else with Destiny. The strikes are fun. The strikes are real entertaining. I like the strikes. My favorite strike is the Inverted Spire. And the other one with Brachion on IO. I forgot the name of that strike specifically, but those are two Vex strikes. But I enjoy those strikes a lot. The public events are very fun. I do like the public event finder that they have built into the game now. That's really dope. The clans aspect, that being built in the game, is really, really dope, really interesting. You're starting to see a lot more clans now, which is really dope to see now. And to have all that like in one central place on the game really does help a lot, because I've gotten a lot of invites from like friends and random people that I see like in Crucible and all these different places. So it's really dope. It's really dope to see that. It's really entertaining to see that. I'm trying to think what else. I think I think that's really it. I think with the DLC, I think the first DLC is going to be Osiris based, and Osiris was the old Trials handler for Destiny 1. So in Destiny 1, Trials was called, it wasn't called Trials of the Nine, it was called Trials of Osiris. And Osiris was in charge of the trials, and every weekend we would have to answer to him and talk to him about doing the trials and stuff like that. But now it's the Trials of the Nine. So the DLC is going to be about him. So I'm interested to see what the DLC is going to be. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some type of PvP based thing in there. And you know, that's going to be definitely interesting to see. But for right now, I'm pretty much on autopilot with Destiny because I do have the platinum. I've maxed out my characters. I've done the raid multiple times. I've done trials. I've done PvP. I've done everything. I'm kind of just cruising right now until, you know, the next new batch of news or the next update or DLC release happens. You know, and you know, fall's coming up. Fall is coming up, and you know, there's still a shit ton of games that I have to play, and I have to beat before these fall games start releasing. So Destiny, you know, I'm still gonna play it, obviously, do the raids every week and all that stuff, but I'm gonna have to start diverting my attention to other games now, so I can beat these other games. Especially once Assassin's Creed comes out and Call of Duty and Battlefront, you know, one shooter is going to have to take the back seat for just a little bit, and that more than likely is going to be Destiny. But and I, you know, in closing, I think my overall experience with Destiny 2, if I had to score the game, I give it a 9 out of 10. No lie, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It is a really, really, really fun, really great game. I love the game a lot. I love everything they've done with the game. My only issue is the grind was a little too easy, and the PvP isn't as casual friendly to newcomers as, you know, it should be. That's the only gripes I have. The story's great, the raid's fun, the strikes are fun. Those are the only issues I really have with the game. The grind being too easy and Crucible. That's it. There's nothing else. And the platinum, you know, platinum being super easy. But yeah, man, that's my Destiny 2 thoughts, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I think we're gonna definitely get up out of here, man. I do appreciate everybody that came through. Jay Bari, John Niner, Titanfall Princess, Lyrical Days, Garuda, anybody else that might come in and didn't type in the chat, man. Shout out to you guys as well. Yo, man, Mind of a Gamer is going to be this Saturday at 11 a.m. EST on my channel. Start your mornings off right, man. It's going to be myself, Demi, and Mr. Official VG. Also, make sure you guys check out the Street Fighter V Final Bout 2 tournament that's going to be streamed on Jay Bari's channel. That is the TOA present, and that's the TOA tournament, man. That's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be like 30, 40 people, man. It's gonna be crazy. Yo, Sean, what's good, bro? Yo, I stay lurking. Yo, man, you ain't got it tight, man. It's all good, man. As long as you come through, leave a like. I always appreciate it, bro. No doubt. Appreciate the support. Yeah, so the Final Bout 2 tournament is going to be this weekend on Jay Bari's channel. Make sure you guys check that out. And the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite tournament is going to be on my channel. And Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite tournament is going to be October 21st. That's going to be crazy. I've been playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I haven't been streaming it too much. I streamed a little bit when me and Bari was going at it. You know, I had to catch that on stream, man. That was day one. You feel me? I haven't even really sat down and you know, pretty much got down to the nitty gritty. But just know Gamora Thanos, that's going to be the team I'm using for the tournament. But if things get a little hairy, I got my pocket team on deck. I got the pocket team that I'm going to be using. And trust me, that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament is going to be amazing. It's going to be very, very entertaining. We got I think we got 20 people signed up right now. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I see some killers in there too, man. It's gonna be a lot of high level play in that game. Timefall, did you get new Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 2, BGM stage? Nah, I didn't buy any Street Fighter 5 stages, or Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 2 stages, or music. I didn't buy any of that. Nah. I haven't really been on Street Fighter 5 lately. It's been a while. I've been playing like a lot of Japanese fighters. Like I've been playing Chaos Code, Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom. I've been playing that. I haven't really touched Street Fighter 5 in a minute. But yeah, man. So those are the last two tournaments for the year: Street Fighter 5 Final Bout 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Those are the last two tournaments for the year. Our first tournament for 2018 takes place in March, and the first tournament for 2018. Do I even need to tell y'all what the first tournament for 2018 is going to be? First tournament for 2018 is going to be Dragon Ball Z Fighters. We are starting out the year with a heavy hitter, and I want everybody to sign up for that tournament. Everyone, sign up for that Dragon Ball Z Fighter tournament, because I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be getting that. Sign up for that. Sign up for that. That's going to be an amazing tournament. Trust me. And we starting the year off with that, and then we got a lot more other premier tournaments that's going to be happening, and a lot of light tournaments and a lot of good fighting games that are going to be coming out. Blaze Blue, Akira's fighting game, Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I'm pretty sure new season 3 of Street Fighter 5 characters are going to be coming out, so we're going to be doing that. It's going to be a lot, guys. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot, and I don't want you guys to miss it, because it's going to be really fun. So yeah, on that note, man, make sure you follow the Online Arcade on Twitter at the official Online Arcade. Make sure you follow myself, Persona_YT on Twitter as well. Make sure you guys support my fam, support Jay Bari, support Upchuck Gaming, support Mr. Official VG, support Demigod Reviews. Who else? Support Red Infamy, support all my peoples, man. People that you know, really out here doing good things, you know, that stream a lot of good gameplay, and they do big things on their channels, man. They always doing something positive. It's never no negativity. The channels that I tell y'all to go and support, these are all positive channels, man. They very knowledgeable about gaming, man. They all about positivity. They all about all these different things, man. All these things surrounding gaming, you know. So definitely support these guys. Support everybody. And yeah, on that note, man, we're gonna get out of here, man. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, a great evening, and enjoy the rest of your week. And it has been When Persona Speaks, episode 10. And we out of here. Peace out.